Well, hey everybody, it's Randy back here again. We're giving you a little update for my break this week. Kind of show you what we're able to get done. I am about 90%. I'd say about 90% done, maybe a little more than that with the grinding. Boy, I'll tell you that it's just such a miserable project, but you know it's something that's got to get done, and so we're just about done with it here. Just been hanging out here for a little while here in my gutted hull, just kind of contemplating the I don't know. My guess is maybe 5,000-6,000 different decisions that I've got to make here in the next few months. I'll tell you what, guys. Doing a full-on restoration of this magnitude is it's challenging. It's really challenging. You know, I'm not I think the term is a boatwright. You know, I'm not a shipbuilder. I'm not a marine engineer. I'm just an old helicopter pilot with an aviation maintenance background. So. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be thought out during a project like this, and you know, I think a guy with basic, you know, adequate maintenance ability, you know, mechanical ability, and a boatload, pardon the pun, but a boatload of common sense, you can kind of get through one of these projects like this. There's just a ton of stuff. As you take stuff apart, you find stuff, and you know, in an earlier post I called it mission creep. You know, that you can expect that's going to happen. You start grind down a piece of fiberglass, and oh well, that wasn't really very well designed when it was put together. So you start thinking about, you know, one of those 6,000 decisions that you make go along the way here. You know, how you can make it better, and then for me. Because I plan to own this thing for a while, you know, with any luck, I'll be able to give this boat to one of my grandkids somewhere down the road. So, in the way my thought processes work is that when I put the boat back, put the Sea Ray back together here, I want to put it, I want to have it designed so that if maintenance has to be done on it down the road, that you know, you don't have to completely tear everything apart to be able to get to cabling or wiring, or you know, and so those are the kind of thoughts that I'm thinking. You know, I'm trying to design the interior of the hull right now so that it's going to be easier to maintain, and that if I decide to do some modifications down the road, change the lighting or add some plumbing, that you know that design factor would have been built into it already. So yeah, I spent a lot of time, you know, just kind of sitting in the hull like I'm doing right now. You know, just I bypassed the beer today, and I'm just having a scotch here. So just sitting in the hull, you know, a little quiet time here after the work day's done, and you know, just thinking about it. You know, let your imagination kind of go, and. So it's a good time for me. It's therapeutic time for me. I'm really enjoying it. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I haven't gotten depressed yet, you know, with this project. I mean, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. But you know, I haven't gotten depressed with it, and so I'm still looking forward to getting this thing in the water, and I'm enjoying the work. You know, it's just me, the guy with the project. All right, so hey, let me show you real quick. This will be my last post, I think, for this break. I go back to work on Tuesday. It's Sunday afternoon. We've got some friends coming over for a little barbecue later on today, this evening. So I'm kind of done for the day. Yeah, I might do a little bit more work tomorrow, but I do have some honeydew stuff that I've got to take care of. I've got a potted plant I've got to get to one of our planters here. You know, we'll do that tomorrow. If I have some time tomorrow, I'll come in and do a little bit more. But you know, we're just about done for this break. So anyway, let me kind of show you real quick. You know what I've done so far. So as you can see, yeah, I think I showed you before, up in the V-berth area, we've got a lot of that ground out. I still haven't gotten to this foam underneath the V-berth. Yeah, maybe I'll get to that tomorrow. That'll be an easy project, and it won't be quite as messy as doing a lot of grinding. The hull is just about ready to start making templates. You can see there's been a lot of grinding going on. And you know, the biggest mess that I'm finding in the when this sea ray was constructed, I'm telling you, they used this adhesive, it's a construction type adhesive, kind of like PL. They used it like Bondo everywhere, and you know, it just really sloppy. I was finding like just little globs. I mean, each glob that they spilled outside of a stringer or outside of a bulkhead or outside of an area that they fiberglass, you know, some of them weighed, you know, yeah, I'm guessing a pound and a half, 2 pounds. I mean, it was just a huge, big, massive glob of adhesive. So that was probably what caused most of the powder. I mean, there was a significant amount of fiberglass, sure, but a lot of it was just the adhesive. You can kind of see right here. You know, they just put these big wide beads of this adhesive and then stuck the material down to it. So you know, that creates an awful lot of dust, and I've got most of it all ground out. There's still a little bit left in there, but you know, I've got about as much out as I need to get out. One of the things, you know, if you guys remember, I was using my multi-tool to kind of etch or cut the edges of the decks that were in there, because they were skinned with fiberglass, and that worked really well. But if you do that, my recommendation for anyone else is, be careful what you're cutting into, because you can kind of see there's a few areas here where I got a little happy with the multi-tool and got a little bit too deep and actually got into the final woven, you know, inside the boat in a few areas. So I'm going to have to dress those out. The starboard side had kind of a long, you know, they're not really that deep. They're probably, maybe only 30-40 thousandths deep, well, except right there. That's pretty deep. But I'll grind those out just a little bit and get those repaired. But what I think I'm going to do is, there was so much fiberglass and stuff that I'd ground out of the engine compartment area. Once I get it all cleaned up, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and probably reskin a lot of the engine compartment area down here, underneath the fuel tank, and then along the sides there, with another layer of thick woven. Anyway, I'm going to reskin a lot of that. Just to make it a little bit stronger. This area down here, there was, they had used, this was in the area of the fuel tanks down here, and they, remember me telling you about this this mat material that they used during construction. It looked like almost like a doormat. It was, I'm not sure what the material was. Most of it was kind of brown. But they just like soaked these mats and they just laid them in there. And the problem I was finding was there were a lot of voids everywhere in that. So I wound up grinding all that stuff out, even the fiberglass, and taking it right down to the hull. So we got rid of pretty much all of that. That was just a big giant mess. But that's out of there. The engine mount. Jury's still out for me right now on the engine mount. I know I was thinking about repairing it. I've got it pretty well exposed. The wood itself is actually in pretty good shape. So you know, I may just reskin that mount. Take a belt sander and level that out. And you can see I started grinding on this thing today, And you can see, like in this area, I mean, this was this thick. I mean, they had just laid resin on top of resin on top of resin on top of this mount. And, you know, it's probably like, you know, pretty strong, but, you know, it wasn't level. So I'm going to take a belt sander, I'm going to level this out, and then cut out the rest of some of that fiberglass skin that was on the fore and aft sides, and take a little bit closer look at it. You know, maybe I'll be able to leave it in. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll probably just be able to repair that, which, you know, thinking about it, and you guys can email me or message me and tell me if I'm wrong in my thinking here, but the engine loads that are going to be absorbed by the forward engine mount are basically just the weight of the engine. There's not going to be an awful lot of torquing loads, and there's not going to be any longitudinal loads because those are going to be absorbed by the stern drives. The torquing loads, a good portion of them are going to be absorbed in the transom, where the bell housings mount up to the rear to the transom plates back there. So really the only load, structural loads that the front engine mounts are going to take is basically the weight of the engine. So it's critical, but I don't think it's that critical. So I'm probably going to wind up just doing a repair that might save me just a little bit of time here. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at here right now. Okay, just spending an awful lot of time sitting in the boat in the hull, just contemplating. You know, I want to put a small galley in it, a microwave, maybe an alcohol stove or something. You know, nothing huge, but you know, enough to get us through a weekend. And then, yeah, just looking at the hull, the inside. Trying to imagine where everything's going to go, and set up my seating. And I'm going to, up in the Vberth area, I've got some ideas for that. I'm probably going to leave that pretty open so that we can use that for additional seating when we're out there with the grandkids. The aft cabin area, I'm probably going to put that back in. But maybe not the same way that it came to me. So I'm still thinking about that. I am definitely going to be sealing off the engine compartment. Got the areas already marked here to where I'm going to install that bulkhead. I don't like the idea of the engine compartment being open to the cabin or not separated completely from the cabin. So that is going to definitely going to go in. And then along the starboard side, you can see where my cabling has to run here. I'm still thinking about that, you know, how we're going to run that cabling down, get it back into the engine compartment. And again, try to set it up so that, you know, if I have to do work on it down the road, you know, that stuff is going to be easily accessible. So, like I said, there's only a few thousand decisions you guys got to make one of these things, right? So, but it's still a super fun project, and I'm really enjoying doing it. So, anyway, that's it from Poway for right now. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. You know, I'll try to get some more posts up here a little bit later on. But I think I'm done for the day. I think I'm going to spend a few more minutes here with my sketch pad, sip the rest of my scotch, and get ready for this evening. So. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. If you guys are out there on the lake or out in the ocean or somewhere with your boats, hope you're having a safe time, hope you're having a fun time, and we'll catch up with you down the road. All right, guys, thanks and take care. All right, see you soon. All right, bye now.